Yes, guys. Welcome back to another stream, man. Hopefully, guys are all doing well. Please make sure you drop a like. Please make sure you subscribe. It's a rumor part of the season, guys. Tonight's stream is all about rumors. So if you don't like rumors, you want to wait for stuff to be official, this ain't the stream for you. Loads to discuss. We've got Pep Guardiola. Is he going to extend? Is he not going to extend? We'll show you some pictures as well of him meeting Sheikh Mansour in Abu Dhabi. We'll speak about Matthias Nunes, some rumours surrounding him. Is he going to Saudi Arabia, mate? Is he going to Al Nasser? And should City give him one more year, or should we just get our money back? Because apparently we can get our money back. Loads to discuss. Before we do, though, as always, smash yes in the chat. Let's see who we've got in the building. We've got Steve here, Only Blue in the Village, Palmer, big up to Bruce, Itchy Goat, Lauren, Rahman, Justin, Nabil, Bevel. Good to see you, Bevel. Big up to Gav, Imran, Dash, Steve, Jack's here as well. Good to see you guys, man. Hopefully you're all doing well. Please make sure you drop a like on the stream. Joined by Tariq, who came on the show the other day, actually, when we did the phoning show. You got your own podcast as well. Why don't you give that a quick plug as well, bro?
Yeah, appreciate it. I'm obviously from the U.S. There's a group of guys. There's 5 of us. Shades of Blue. If you go in Twitter, it's at Shades of Blue NW. The letter N, the letter W. Shades of Blue NW. There's also YouTube channel. You can find us on all your normal streaming networks and all that. So really would love all of your support. But yeah, appreciate it. Love everybody's support and just here to talk City, man.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's get straight into it. These photos, by the way, Pep Guardiola is a bit of a madness. Let's pull it up on screen. This comes from the account Corey1000. I think that's how you say his name. So obviously we all know this isn't a surprise. This isn't a shock. But Pep Guardiola has obviously flown out to Abu Dhabi. He's there with Tiki. He's there with Ferran and also Karl and of course Sheikh Mansour there. They're there. They're chatting. I don't know what they're chatting about, to be honest with you. They've had some pictures with the trophies. Sheikh Mansour looking very happy there. Look at him, man. Looks like a beast, and then just celebrating the trophies. There has been some. Yeah. Listen, it's a celebration, bro. To do the 4P is crazy, and obviously they're celebrating it. What's your position on Pep? Do you think that he is going to sign a new 1-year deal? A new 1-year deal, I think, takes him to 10 years, if I'm right on that. Surely he's signing a 1-year contract. He's not going to leave at 9 years, surely, bro.
For the sake of the story, right? Just to be able to say, the bookend, the 10 years, we think about people like Vinny Company or David Silva and those types of players who got to that 10-year mark. And then those that fell just a little bit short. You want to see them get to 10 years, ideally. But I guess the question really becomes, what is the ideal scenario? Is a 1-year ideal scenario? Or, and don't everybody kill me all at once? Or is it better to just say, if he's not going to extend for 2 years, if we could guarantee ourselves, say, Xabi Alonso, would you say, okay, we're okay if Pep called it quits after this year?
Nah, no way. No way.
I'm with you. I just wanted to throw it out there.
Yeah. Nah, it's a fair question. But for me, nah. Because if he signs a 1-year deal extension, who knows? He might sign another 1-year contract extension the year after. And for me, while Xabi Alonso right now he's proven himself to be a very worthwhile candidate for this job. And by the way, there's no guarantee, obviously, we'll get him. He might go Real Madrid. But he's clearly a worthwhile candidate. He'll be on the shortlist, and I assume we'll try and get him once Pep leaves. There's no guarantee that he will bring success to Manchester City. There's absolutely no guarantee of that. So effectively, what you're saying is, do we get rid of 1 year of probable success under Pep Guardiola? Because we probably will win something next year. Like, that's the probable outcome, is we will win something next year. In favor of getting someone for a bit longer, but there's no guarantee, there's no probable outcome there because we don't know. It's the unknown. So for me, right. No, I think it's a fair question, bro. But in my opinion, if the option is get Xabi Alonso on a 5-year deal or get Pep on a 1-year deal and then he leaves, I'd still take him Pep Guardiola on a 1-year contract, bro.
It was that the conversation is really only for Xabi Alonso because the timing lines up that his last year could potentially be Pep's last year. I think you've called it out on your show before. The Real Madrid coach has extra years. Liverpool just signed a new coach. So it would be positioned where we would be the ideal, the most appealing, and probably be most appealing regardless. But we might be the most appealing option for him in that scenario. So is it like you win the Javi Alonso race kind of by default because everybody else already has a manager in place? And if Pep decides to leave, then, with that position as well. But I'm never going to push Pep out. Pep can stay as long as he wants to, in my opinion. I look at that conversation slightly different than I do, say, with players, because with players, you're trying to find, do we bring somebody in, or we let somebody go maybe a year too soon, or do we hold them on a year too long? But that doesn't have that's not a situation that happens with the manager, because there's no physical, the exertion by the manager. It's just, unless Pep, there's nothing that would matter from that standpoint. So
Let's have a look what this guy said anyway on this Instagram post. He put, Mansour bin Zayed receives a number of Man City Football Club officials. Today, His Highness Sheikh Mansour, Vice President of UAE, Deputy Prime Minister and Head of the Presidential Office, received a number of City officials, accompanied by His Excellency Karl, Chairman of Executive Affairs Authority, Chairman of the Council, management on the occasion of the team winning the English Premier League title in 4 consecutive seasons. He goes on to say, during the meeting that took place in His Highness office at Qasr Al Watan, club officials and Pep Guardiola, the technical director, presented to His Highness the titles won by Manchester City this season, expressing their appreciation for the support that His Highness gives to the board of directors, coaches and players, which constituted an important incentive to continue developing the team's performance and achieving his success. Championships. His Highness Sheikh Mansour praised the efforts of the board of directors, the technical management, and the performance of the players during the season, which produced these honourable results, and delighted the team's fans, noting that the achievement embodies the success of the strategy that was developed to achieve the club's goals and consolidate its leadership in Europe and the world. He stressed that Man City's titles are it to constitute an incentive to continue the club's progress with confident steps and determination towards further achievements. His Highness also appreciated the influential role of the team's fans who supported him in various competitions and tournaments. Karl, Ahmad Barak and Pep Guardiola and Sheikh Mansour handed over the awards won by the club with the participation of a group of children trained in City football schools. Among about 3,000 trainees in these schools, the English Premier League title is City's third during the 2023-2024 season, after winning the Super Cup in July and the Club World Cup in December. And obviously, we just had to send in a little W there. So yeah, listen, it's interesting as well. I don't know if you read anything into this, Tariq, bro, but like I did see some people saying they don't look particularly nervous, considering they've got a 115 charges coming up. I did see quite a lot of people on Twitter. Do you read anything into that, or do you just think, nah, they're celebrating the title, they're celebrating the trophies, that's got nothing to do with it? Or do you look at this picture, like they're all chilling, they're all smiling, everyone's happy, they all seem pretty relaxed? Like, can you take anything from a photo? Is effectively what I'm saying, because some people are saying you can on Twitter.
To me, I don't think so. But I mean, I didn't think about it in that way, right? In that picture, you've got all of these people that are the heads of our organization, heads of our club. And you're right, they look perfectly at peace and fine, right? They're not stressed about anything. But they have people whose job it is to go handle that other stuff, right? So we're in the midst of I assume we're still in the midst of a legal battle with the Premier League about the associated payments and associated partnerships and stuff like that, right? That's happening right now in theory. But we have lawyers, we have people whose job it is to handle that, so they can go be stress-free and enjoy what they do. And to your point, really just take the time to celebrate the accomplishments from this past season, which we do every single year. And thankfully, we've been in a position to be able to celebrate every year. But yeah, I just think that I don't think personally you can take a whole bunch from it.
I
But I'm
agree.
glad to give myself make it easy for me to sleep at night.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't think you can really take too much into it, but I mean, it's probably better than them looking stressed. Anyway,
For
the
sure.
reason why we're discussing Pep's extension is because Lou Martin, who some of you might know, has put stuff out in the past, has tweeted this, right? For some reason, normally Twitter allows you to press translate, but it's not on this one. This is what Lou Martin tweeted earlier on, yeah? Someone put it in Google, and this is basically what it translates to. It says, Guardiola, Soriano, and Tiki visiting Sheikh Mansour. From this, he comes back renewed, but he's put question marks. So everyone's kind of like tweeting him and replying to him and saying, "What do you mean? What are you saying? Are you saying that he's agreed to sign a new deal? Or are you just asking a question? And if you're asking a question, why have you tweeted it? Like, why are you asking us? Like, what's going on here?" So we're not 100% sure what's going on. I have checked his Twitter, and the only thing since then he's tweeted is this, because there's only one thing worse than not being able to go to the ringing because you're stupid. Hearing it from the kitchen, it must be shabby. I'm not sure exactly what that means. So I'm not. He's not given too. I don't know what he's. I don't know why he's tweeted this. To be honest, I don't know what it means. Like, what does that even mean? Why has he put that out there? What does that even mean? He must be asking the question. Otherwise, why has he put question marks?
Were you familiar with this Twitter person before?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've never come across it, so I didn't know what to think about it when I saw it. Again, on our pod, on our show, first of all, I'm the oldest one on there, and I'm kind of the pessimist by nature. It's like I'm not going to get too happy just yet. I need to see it first, right? So seeing that happen and seeing with that tweet, on one hand, I could get excited, but do I really trust it? I don't know that I do just yet. I would love, like I said, I would love for Pep to shoot. He can go 2 years and just make everybody upset. But I just don't know if I would hold out hope on it just yet. Not based on that tweet.
Nah, nor do I. I just look at the situation, bro, and I'm thinking, you got
one
more
somebody
year.
said he's close to Pep. He's written his book.
Yeah, he's a well-known guy, Lee Martin.
Oh my. Well,
Yeah,
maybe I'm wrong. I should put
pretty
more.
sure. Yeah, pretty sure the aggregators quote him and that sometimes. Like he is a known person. That's why I was like, oh damn, like why has he done it? But I just don't understand his wording. And obviously it's not being translated properly. So I don't exactly know what's going on. I don't think he's saying that a contract has been in that. I don't think he said that, to be honest with you. And I think if he did, we would have had some sort of confirmation from some other sort of journalist.
Yeah.
But right now, it is what it is. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen. In your gut feeling, what you're saying, because in my gut feeling, I just think that, like, why are you not just doing one more year and getting the 10 boxed off? That I just don't
think he's
understand
got
why
one
you
more
do
in him.
9. Yeah, exactly. I don't understand why you do 9 years and then just be like, right, see you later. Why wouldn't you do one more? I think he's signing a 1-year deal, man.
Yeah,
but that might just be coping. It might just be me just hoping and praying and fingers crossed.
I'm sure there could be some of that, but I'm with you. I just think everything has been set up. He has everything he needs. He's always said that, everything that he would ever need, the club has provided. So there's no reason to leave unless you're just tired or you're just, done with this competition and looking for something new or different, right? There's no reason to go anywhere else because there's no guarantee that anywhere else that you go is going to have the same setup. So I think from Pep's perspective, why would you leave?
Yeah, no, I agree. Listen, guys, it's interesting. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think he's going to sign a 1-year deal, do 10 years, or do you think he's going to bail out at 9? That's another photo that came out before. Look how buzzing they look, man. You know what I mean? That's good to see. Good to see. Right, some other news.
So hold on real quick.
Oh, go on.
So when I get ready to log off our pod and I do like the 2-finger piece or whatever, I'm told that depending on which way I do it, it means different things over there. Is that true?
What, that's a swear
like
word.
This versus this. Oh, okay.
That's swearing.
So this is interesting. Because I see they did 4. I was gonna say, does the 4 matter? But okay.
No. It's literally that's a swear. 1. Is that swear in your country?
Yeah.
And then that's a swear.
Okay.
I don't know why that's a swear. but it is a swear. I think it's something to do with the war. I think it was something to do with World War II.
Really? Okay.
Something like that. Yeah, I don't know why it's a swear word. Maybe someone in the chat can let us know. But yeah, two is a swear. But no one, I've never seen any. Well, no, actually, no, I do see people do that. I don't know why people do it. It's
I do
weird.
it all the time. It's just easier for me. I guess I'm not coordinated enough to turn my hand around the other way. I didn't. So if I did that when we jumped on, I wasn't trying to
Why
swear
did
anybody.
you do
I
it
love
once and
you all.
someone say?
I would never. Go ahead.
Did
What
you
was
do
the
it
question?
once and then someone say, "Why are you swearing at us?" Is that what happened?
Yeah, I forget who was on, because on our pod we have people from all over. So somebody probably called it out and just made us aware of it. So now it's in my head all the time.
There you go. The Battle of Ashencourt, apparently.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the full details, but yeah, I mean,
sue
it
him.
is what it is. Yeah, sue him. We're getting sued. Terry. We're getting closed
I was
down.
gonna say. See, I thought it was a peace symbol too. Yeah, that's what I thought too. But anyway, sorry I derailed you.
It's cool. It's cool. Right, I want to have a conversation, and it's going to be a debate. I don't know, some of you in the chat are going to get very, very stressed, or whether you're on one side of the debate or the other side of the debate, because for some reason this is a very passionate. People are very passionate about this, and it's regarding Matheus NUNES. Saudi club Al Nassr are prepared to give City back their money for Matheus NUNES this summer. We've also heard from various other sources that there are Saudi clubs interested in Matheus NUNES. Tommy's put this out later on, so whether or not you believe Tommy anyway, there have been other sources speaking about Matheus NUNES to Saudi Arabia. In my opinion, and I know some of you are not going to like this, if we can get our money back, I'd cash in, bro. Because my opinion, yeah, is I don't think this guy suits our style of football. I think he's a good football player. I like him. I don't think he works at Manchester City, in my view. What's your opinion? I'm getting told by people, LB, give him another year. What's your view? Should we give him another year, or should we get our money back if possible? What
What do
would you
you
do, bro?
think is the strength of his game? Is it
Transitional play, counter-attacking play, neither of which we do,
his
really.
ability to carry the ball?
Yeah, he carried the ball. He's a great ball carrier, 100%. And I do think he can chip in with a goal or two. But my view is, I'm not sitting here saying sell him based off of last season's performances, because I actually thought when he played last year, he done all right. But the reason I'm saying get rid of him is because I don't think this guy will ever be the style of play that we need, and therefore he'll never really play that many minutes. I just don't see it. And I just think, actually, I'd rather Rico Lewis be playing in the midfield than Matheus NUNES. And for me, I just see NUNES as a bit of a hurdle for Rico Lewis.
So I asked the question about what the strength of his game, because I felt like it's his ability to dribble with the ball, which we
Definitely.
have also with Daku. We're potentially, I believe, I haven't seen enough of Savio, but I think that's one of his strengths as well, his ability to dribble with the ball. So it almost makes me question, is Pep trying to move to more of a ball carrying, dribbling style of player, which seems kind of maybe a little contrary to how we typically have seen Pep play. My default would be to side with you. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with letting him go. I don't know that he becomes what we would hope that he becomes, but I think that it's probably, and you said it, it's not based on this one season, because that would be unfair, because we know players that typically come in their first season, they struggle, with the exception of Erling Haaland, who's just, he's different. So outside of him, most people come in and struggle. So I think it would be fair to say he probably has more than what we've seen, but I just don't know. I don't know what he or how he plays in a Pep team consistently, if we're going to play like we've been playing. So
Yeah.
I'm with you. I would get rid if they want to give us our money back, which I think we bought him for 62 million pounds is what I saw on Transfermarkt. If they're willing to give us that, then I would say let's do it.
I think it was,
and then on the flip
that
side,
must be lower than that. We didn't pay 62 mil for him, surely.
looking at Transfermarkt,
I
and
thought it was
it
like
shows
50
that
mil.
it said that we got him for 62, but that his market value at the time was only 45.
Yeah, that's euros.
Maybe
So
I'm
yeah,
reading that wrong. Maybe
that's
I'm reading that wrong.
euros. That's euros. So that's
Oh
52
yeah,
mil pounds. That's 52 mil. So
sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's gotta get the currency right, bro. You know what I mean? We got to get the
You're
we
right.
got it. No
I wrote it
misinformation.
down wrong. I wrote it down on my notepad wrong. 62 euros, yeah. And then, yeah, you're right.
If
Cool.
we can
But
get
it
52
shows his
mil
market
back for
value
Mafia,
now of
that's
only
fine.
50. They show his market value
Yeah.
now of only 50. So if they gave us 62, if they just give us our money back, I would say, yeah, he's got to go.
Well, the thing is that I think 50 mil is well worth it. He's, like I say, he's a good player. I'm not sitting. I've never once said he's a bad player. I've actually really kind of enjoyed watching him at times this season. You know,
He
as a
has
chat,
something different.
yeah, of course he does. You know, people who watch me on the watch-alongs will know that I've enjoyed watching. I called him Yaya Toure at one point. I mean, I really like him, but you've got to separate. You've got to separate like what you actually like about him and all that kind of stuff. To will he ever be good enough, or not good enough? Will he ever suit this team in the style that we're currently playing? This is why I said he probably should have gone Liverpool, and McAllister probably should have come City.
Yeah.
Because I think McAllister probably suited City more than he does Liverpool, because we're more of a possession-based tiki-taka style, where Liverpool get the ball forward a bit quicker. And Nunes would have been ace at Liverpool, because they transition a lot quicker than us. They play a lot more direct long balls than us. So I just think we signed the wrong players. But yeah, I think there's a lot of players there. I think there's a lot of teams that could do with someone like Matheus Nunes. Something that I've always thought about, and we've not seen any rumours about this at all, so it's just purely speculation, is would Newcastle not be interested in him? If we were going to activate this release clause, of which, by the way, I don't know if you've seen it last night, Terry, but there was loads of rumours going around last night that we've activated the release clause. I don't think we have, because no sort of like legit journalist has come out and said it, but obviously no smoke without fire, as we always get told. Would Newcastle not be interested in Matheus Nunes? He's good enough for Newcastle.
So, yeah, I do think he's good enough for Newcastle. And I was going to ask you this question anyway. Are you getting rid of Nunes to make place for someone else? Because if you just got rid of Nunes, would we have enough in midfield? Now, I know you talked about having Rico play there more frequently, which I'm okay with. But I just know that we've talked about, well, not maybe me and you, but just in general, City fandom, just talking about we need a new midfielder or whatever, right? So, especially someone that can play next to Rodri. So if I think it would be a great deal for Newcastle to get Nunez, and we take Bruno. The question is, would that resolve their financial issues? Because that's the real, in theory, that's the only reason they're willing to get rid of Bruno. But I think he has a release clause, so maybe they don't have any control over it. But if you're gonna get rid of Bruno and bring Nunez in, do you resolve your financial issues?
Well, you'd be looking at sort of 50 mil. Well,
Yeah.
actually, no, you'd get the 100 mil. I think that goes straight on your books, doesn't it? And then
Oh, and then the 50 just goes
it's
over the
spread.
5 years.
So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I would imagine it does, and I think that gives us good balance, man. I mean, if we was to look at sort of what we'd have as options, you'd have Rodri, you'd have De Bruyne, and then you'd have I don't know why they've done this now. They've added that extra page, which is annoying. They got Foden there. So that can be like your aggressive attack option. Yeah. Or obviously you
Sure.
can play Foden left, but whatever. And then we'll put Bruno G in, who can either play, you can rest Rodri and he could play as a 6. Or I think what you'll see actually quite a lot is one of these two being rested, probably Kevin a lot more than Foden, obviously, and then you'll see sort of like a double pivot, which is kind of what we did against Newcastle. The best one I thought was when we played against Newcastle at home early in the season, when we played Kovacic and Rodri in the middle, and Foden had this free role. And then, of course, who else you got in there? You got Kovacic, who I think will become more of what he should have been really last year, which was sort of a squad rotational player, a guy who's come off the bench for the last 20, 30 minutes. And then you've got Rico Lewis, who I think is, you know, I think he can still get a lot of minutes, Rico, in that, because I just think he will. I think he'll get the minutes. So I don't see any problem personally in signing Bruno G. I think getting Bruno G or Kimmich, or whoever it is, I still think you got a lot of game time to play people. People keep on saying, who going to bench? Who going to bench? Well, hang on a minute. We all agree Kevin De Bruyne can't play every 3 days, right? So you're going to have to seriously manage his minutes, right? You're going to have to seriously manage his minutes, right? Phil Foden then becomes your sort of only, he becomes, when Kevin can't play, he has to play. I think obviously you can throw in Rico in there, who actually can do a little bit in the creative role. I think there's more than enough game time next season, yeah, to be able to fit in Rodri, Bruno, Foden, De Bruyne, and then obviously you've still got Kovacic and Rico. I don't think it's an issue at all. Personally, I don't know if you think there's potentially 75 matches next year. That's what
Yeah,
people are
I
saying. If we
think
get to all the
that's
finals, but obviously unlikely. But this maximum of 75 games. We've got Euros, we've got Copa America, we've got the Club World Cup obviously at the end of next year. There's plenty of games to give people minutes.
yeah, I like the idea of resting KDB quite a bit in this upcoming season. I think that is the best chance to kind of extend his career as long as you want to extend it. But I don't know, you know, does he have the mindset to be willing to take a lesser role? I think so. I mean, I think he enjoys being in Manchester. His family is there. I think he's really settled. So hopefully he would be okay with, hey, we're going to pull back a little bit in hopes of extending your career, keeping you from being injured, so on and so forth. Because the biggest ability is availability, right? And so we know he's had those injuries consistently these last few years. How do we prevent that? We play you less minutes. The fact that he's playing in the Euros is probably not a good thing from our perspective, but maybe that just feeds our ability to say, you know what, we need to rest you. We need to give you more breaks than maybe you haven't had in the past.
Yeah, no, I think he knows that. For me, when you're speaking about someone like Kevin De Bruyne, right? In my opinion, I'm not playing him any of the Carabao Cup games unless we get like Arsenal, Liverpool, United,
Sure.
Chelsea.
Sure.
I'm just not doing it. I'm just saying to him, you're not playing a Carabao Cup game until the final, semi-final, or unless we get a big team. Don't care. Same with the FA Cup. The group stage, listen, I don't fully know how this group stage is going to work. We're definitely going to get one good team because we're definitely going to play one team from like the pot A thing. But then we're going to be playing teams from pot 2, pot 3, pot 4, whatever. We're still going to get a couple dead teams in the Champions League with all due respect. I ain't playing him in them. Don't think it's needed. I'm playing him in the Premier League where the 3 points are the most important things. We got to get those 3 points. Dropping a game is bad. So I just think, and listen, the guy's not an idiot, man. Like, he's going to be 34 next year, is he? Like, he's just had a hamstring surgery where he's had an 8-inch or 8 centimeter operation into his hamstring. Like, the guy's not dumb. If you want to play every game, no problem. Career's dusted by the end of the year. You'll probably miss half the season, and your career's over by the end of the year because you'll break down. You'll break down. We've got to be clever about where we play De Bruyne, where we play. There's no point in playing him, against like fucking Victoria Pilsen in match day 5 of the Champions League, unless we're like going out the competition. There's no point in playing him, against like in Bristol City at home in the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
And again, that's not being disrespectful to the teams. It's like, it's just being obvious. Like, you gotta believe that Foden, Kovacic, Bruno, Rico Lewis are good enough to get you the wins. And if they're not good enough, then you got to ask questions about those players, not Kevin De Bruyne. So that's where I'm at with it. You've got to be clever with Kevin De Bruyne. But yeah, I mean, let me just let me bring this back up on screen. So let me throw Rico Lewis in there. Have I missed any? I don't think I've missed any other midfielders, have I, in this? Because I'm basically putting all the midfielders on the screen. That's all our midfielders, isn't it? Would you have anyone else, or have I missed someone?
I think that's it.
That's it, isn't it? Yeah. Well, Alvarez potentially could play in there.
But I don't count him. Yeah.
No, I don't really count him either. So I think that is.
What about Bernardo?
Well, yeah,
again, Bernardo as a midfielder, or
I suppose you can kind of put Bernardo in that. What I would say is, I think these are our core midfielders because obviously Bernardo is kind of a right winger now.
Yeah.
He can play midfielder, as we know, but realistically, like Alvarez, they're not. I wouldn't say they're part of our core midfield. For me, if we get Bruno, by the way, this Bruno here, this could be Kimmich, this could be João Neves. It's irrelevant. We just put him there because obviously, hopefully, we're going to sign a new player. The question is that enough for the season? I think on its own, probably not. Adding Bernardo Silva, adding Alvarez, and I think that's fine. You got 2 6s, Rodri, and then Bruno. And if it's not Bruno, it'll be Kimmich. If it's not Kimmich, it'll be João Neves. It'll be one of those three, I'd imagine. So you've got two players who can play as a 6. So you got to be pretty unlucky if both of those guys get injured, right? And even if they do, you can kind of throw Kovacic in there as a worst case scenario. Attacking wise, you got Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden. I would actually throw Rico Lewis in there as well because I think he is actually not a bad little creator. I don't clearly miles away from Foden and De Bruyne in that role, but I think he can do it. I think the way he drives forward. And then, of course, you've still got Alvarez in there, which you probably will play him in that midfield a couple of times, and Bernardo Silva. I think that's enough. I don't think we need anyone else. I think if you get Bruno or Kimmich and you get rid of Nunes, I don't think that leaves the squad short at all.
But if we just got rid of Nunez, so if we get rid of Nunez, we have to bring in somebody else to replace him. We can't get rid of him without somebody else coming in, and they'll know that, and they'll have, whether it's Bruno or Kimmich or whoever it is, they'll have that person in mind. I see somebody talk about Oscar Bob. I thought about him, but he's more of a winger the way we're playing him.
Yeah, it's too soon to put him in the middle. I mean, regardless of what happens to Nunes, we have to sign a midfielder anyway, because it's quite clear that Pep Guardiola doesn't trust anybody in this squad to play
except
defensive midfield Rodri, other than Rodri. And again, there's a potential, an unlikely potential, but there is a potential that we could play 75 games next year. Guys, Rodri cannot play insane. 75 football matches.
That's insane.
He can probably play, 45 to 50? 50 max, really? You don't really want him to play more than sort of 50, 53. So you're going to have to find a potential player that can play 25, 20 games. And at the moment, we don't have a player that Pep Guardiola trusts. At the start of last season, I thought, maybe could Kovacic do it? Doesn't look like Pep really trusts Kovacic in that CDM role. I think he trusts Kovacic on the pitch a lot,
but not as a lone six. But not as a lone six. He only plays him alongside Rodri or alongside someone else.
Correct. And Tarek, I said this as well.
Which makes sense because I don't think Kovacic has the legs to cover the entire pitch by himself at this point.
Which is why I'm quite surprised we never really saw Nunes be given a go. Listen, he might not have worked as a 6. I think he probably would have made our hearts sink a lot when he loses the ball because he will get dispossessed a lot. But he has one thing that he has over Kovacic, one thing that he has over someone like a Phillips is that he's fast. He can cover ground quickly. But I just don't think Pep trusts him enough on the ball in those deeper positions. And again, I can't remember what game it was, maybe you'll remember. It was towards the end of the season and he lost the ball deep in our own half and they ended up scoring a goal. We won the match. I can't remember what game it was. And it's like, that is why Pep clearly doesn't trust him in that CDM position. But I would have liked to have seen him play there a little bit more, but he clearly does not trust him. So we have to play. No. I'm not saying, Chris, I'm not saying like that one time proves it. I'm saying that I would have liked him to be given it, but clearly Pep doesn't trust Nunes as a CDM. Otherwise, we would have seen him as a CDM. We never seen it. So
do you think
we have to get someone?
Do you think Pep just has a really high, because that's the position that he played, he has really high expectations for whoever's going to play in that that 6th position, and no one can do it at the level that he did it or he expects it to be done except for Rodri, because we brought in Calvin Phillips, we brought in all these players, but no one has been trusted to play there, and so it just means that we keep running Rodri out. I don't know if
it's the most important position on the pitch for him, bro.
But does he have, and now I'm just talking out loud, is his expectations too high? I mean, let's be honest. He didn't think that Calvin Phillips could do it, and then we saw Calvin Phillips struggle other places as well. So obviously Pep knows what he's talking about, which is why he's the manager and I'm not. But I guess I'm just saying, could we see, in this case, Nunes? What is Pep seeing in training that he says, nope, you're not ready yet? Or is it just simply, I just need to embed you in this style of play because it's such a big difference than where you were at Wolves. And so it takes that full year to get up to speed to be able to then turn around and then execute on what Pep is saying in the trainer, in the locker room, into on the pitch.
I guess it could be either, bro, because we've also seen him say that Gvardiol's not ready to play in the middle of the park yet.
which was
and
surprising to me.
which was
Because
surprising.
yeah, I thought that was going to
I
happen
agree.
when he came.
I agree. So I think that at the end of the day, that middle area of the pitch, that's where you get hurt from, right? Because if a team's going through the middle, that's bad. If a team's going wide, they've still got to cross the ball, stuff can happen. If you go through the middle, it's dangerous. Pep wants players that he can trust. Yeah, he wants almost a version of himself on that pitch. And I think he sees that middle of the pitch as the brain, as the engine, everything. Every organ you can think of in one place on that pitch. And if it doesn't work, the whole thing falls apart. And by the way, we've seen this a little bit to a certain degree when early on we've seen him play. Did he play Gundogan and Fernandinho in there as a double pivot at one point earlier when he first joined? And it was a mess. I'm sure it was Gundogan and Fernandinho.
So, yeah.
It might have been Rodri and Fernandinho or something like that. And they played him as a double pivot. And it was awful. It didn't work. So it's not even necessarily the personnel, because obviously those two players are amazing footballers. If the people in the middle of the pitch cannot execute his instructions and his game plan, I think he knows the whole thing just doesn't work. The whole thing will be terrible. And that's why I don't think he fucks around with it, because he's like, he probably looks at these players, and he probably looks at Nunes, he looks at Kovacic, he looks at these guys and goes, you're great footballers, but you can't do what I need you to do in that middle. And if you can't do what I need you to do in that middle, my system won't work, and we will struggle to win football matches. Because I do remember earlier when in the first couple of years when he tried that double pivot, it was awful, and we was all like, what is going on here? And then eventually he swapped it, whatever, and it started cooking. But I think that's what it is. But you could be right. Either option could be correct.
So based on what you said, does that then push us towards Kimmich because he's had experience in a Pep system? Pep's seen him both at that right back and then moving him, inverting him in. Would that then be a safer decision to go with Kimmich over going with Bruno, because maybe we've never seen Bruno in a Pep system? I just know Bruno was a part of the midfield that got ran through by the US the other night, and that's insane. I just need to see more.
I don't think it's a safer option necessarily, because he's also not played the Premier League.
True.
So to be fair, you can say it's a safer option because he's played with Pep, but I could also say, well, Bruno's a safer option because he's played Premier League. So it's one of those, I have this debate almost every day on the channel. Me and the chat have conversations about who do we want? Do we want Bruno? Do we want Kimmich? We go through the fact that Kimmich will probably be half the price. He's worked with Pep. We look at Bruno. He's only 26. He's younger than Kimmich. He's also got Prem experience. I think Bruno would really complement Rodri. I think him and Rodri in the middle would be that. I think that'd be scary. But how long would it take maybe Bruno to get it?
Yeah, that's my only fear.
Exactly. And if this is Pep's last year, would you not rather just get a player who, Pep can say, right, Kimmich, I need you to do this on the pitch. He's like, yeah, no worries, I got your boss. Whereas Bruno might be like, what?
Yeah. On the flip side, if this was Pep's last year, do you buy someone that's going to be here when Pep is gone, and then we're going to have a new manager come in, totally different system that this player now doesn't fit? Maybe Bruno is the better choice long term, but if you're going to have Pep around any amount of time, and if it makes Pep feel better and maybe it leads to an extension, go get Kimmich or whoever else he wants. In my opinion, I don't really care.
Well, I guess that's where the João Neves talk comes in.
True.
Because people say João Neves is going to be a baller. And you know what? I actually don't really doubt them. I've not watched a lot. I've only watched him one full game and then just highlights. But from what I've seen in that short space of time, I get why people are hyping up. I obviously need to watch him more, though. So he's obviously the shout of, you could get someone like a João Neves. You're going to pay a lot of money for him. He might not fully work next year. And in fact, if he did come in this summer, I would probably just caution people on their expectations of him in his first season. He's only young. I think he's like 19, 20 years old. He's played less than 75 career football matches at the professional level. He's coming into a Pep Guardiola system. It's probably not going to just hit the ground running. But then in 2-3 years, you might have one of the best players, in the world in that sort of position on your hands. But again, that doesn't help Pep. That doesn't help Pep in the here and now. And if he's only signing a 1-year contract extension, or he doesn't sign one and this is his last year, do you really want to do that? So I don't know. For me, I still think if it was me, I'd still go towards Bruno or Kimmich. And actually, you know what? I am starting to open up a little bit more to Bruno. I have been a bit hesitant on Bruno. I've just kind of been like, I'm not sure. I've looked at the Kimmich deal and just thought that to me just seems like a smarter deal. But then I start looking at the relationship. Yeah, exactly as well. But then I start looking at the relationship with Rodri. And I just feel that Bruno and Rodri, I just feel that them two could just get like a mad connection going. And I think they could just cook. Whereas I think Kimmich, I don't know. I don't know if Kimmich and Rodri would have, and it's just my opinion. I just don't think they'd have as much of a connection as maybe Bruno and Rodri. I just feel like, I don't know why. Could be BS. That's just my view.
The idea of a Bruno Rodri core of our midfield 2 of the 3, I mean, that's appealing to me. It's got all of the technical ability. It's got the aggression, the physical nature that you would need. I think we would cook for sure with that midfield.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, 100%. Let me come to some of your super chats here, guys. Big up for the support, man. Guys, make sure you drop a like as well. Over 430 people tuned in. Let's get those likes up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. By the way, 1 p.m. tomorrow, UK time. I'm on with Martin and Tone for the Tone Show. So make sure you join us for that. Probably speak a bit about the Euros as well. And then whatever Martin decides to take us down. Big up to Bevo, says Nunes, too early to go to Saudi. Still tons of potential. Big up to LB and Tarek. Like and subscribe, people. You know what? I actually agree. I don't want him to go to Saudi Arabia.
No, that would be a waste.
I think it's I think right now he should stay in Europe. I think he's got so much to give. He's a good football player, and he's only 25. He should, in my opinion, he should be at a Champions League team. No question about it. But if our only option is Saudi and he's happy to go and take the bag, then wouldn't surprise me if they do it. So we'll see.
What about Villa? If they have to get rid of Douglas Luiz, you think he can go to Villa?
Well, I don't know if they've got the money. I don't know what's going on with that financial situation. It's all a bit weird, mate. You know what I mean? They've had to sell Douglas Luiz. I don't know. I don't know the finances. I think he'd be a decent signing for Villa. I think actually under an Emery system, because they can play a little bit deeper at times. It's a sort of Emery ball. They just try and play football as well, of course, but I think it'd be a decent signing for them. Bolster the squad out. Yeah, good signing. Good shout. Tinsay says we must implement 3-5-2 wing backs for Alvarez and Rico. I just don't think we're going to do it, bro, because we'd have to sign a left back and a right back, and we're not being linked with anyone.
Frimpong, but
yeah, I just don't think we've been linked with anyone to suggest that's going to happen. I'd be a game for it because I'd love to see Haaland and Alvarez as a duo up top. I think it'd be great. But to see that, you need attacking fullbacks like we had when we had Mendy and Walker when Walker first came and he was bombing down the wings. We don't have anyone who can do that at our team. No one.
It's bringing a smile to my face because I'm thinking when I first started watching and seeing, Aguero and Dzeko, or Aguero and what's the beast? What's his last name?
Negredo.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alvaro Negredo. Just seeing those combinations up top. That's I'm not opposed to it. I like the idea. I like the idea of playing Alvarez, but not in midfield necessarily. So if we can find a way to get him higher up the pitch, playing in that striker position alongside Haaland, I'm all for it.
Yeah, no, facts, same here. Chicky Wing says, LB, give it up. Nunes ain't going anywhere. Listen,
I'm not trying to push him out.
Yeah, no, listen, I'd be surprised if he left. I don't think he is going to leave. But my opinion is if we got the offer that we get our money back, I personally would accept that and move him on. But I don't think he is going to leave, to be honest with you. And Chicken Wing also says, I can see us only signing Bruno and Savio. Well, yeah, Savio is obviously done by all accounts. And then Bruno or Kimmich or someone like that. Yeah. The Bruno's one's weird, man, because I guess most of you guys seen it last night. Twitter was going crazy. all these Newcastle accounts started saying, release clause activated, and everyone was like, whoa, what's going on? Have we yet to activate release clause? But then people came out and were like, nah, it's not happening. But then why did all these Newcastle accounts say, like, what information did they get to say that? Like, something must have happened. Or did one person just tweet it
And then
out?
everybody
And
just
then
jumped
you know what
on.
Twitter, like, everyone on Twitter went, oh yeah, I've been told the same thing, when actually no one got told anything. One person said it and then everyone just jumped. I guarantee, right, if I tweeted something out now saying, oh, been told City is signing this guy, guarantee you other accounts would start tweeting out. Guarantee you, bro. I might do it one time as a joke.
But they would believe it because they would think that you're ITK. You're big, so you know they
Yeah,
might
no.
actually believe it.
But why would then other people start tweeting out saying, yeah, I've been told the same thing? It's not
That's
about
true.
other people
That's true. That's
believing.
true.
It's about, so say I tweeted, oh, City are signing Brahim Diaz. Mad breaking news. I've been told, a legit source, right? People can be like, oh, really? But then other people will start tweeting, yeah, bro, I've been told the same thing. And it's like,
Yeah.
why do people
Yeah,
do that?
you're right. You're right. It would happen because people want to feel like they're in the know, right? They want to feel like, oh, I had that news first. I'm ITK or whatever.
Yeah, but why do people do that, bro?
Because
I
they're
tell people
idiots.
on this channel all the time, I am not ITK. I am not. I'm just a fan, mate. You know what I mean? So, like, whenever I say anything, don't take it as like, you know, I've got information. I don't have no information. I'm not ITK. I got told me, you know what I mean? So I don't know. But it's weird, man. People just want the attention, innit? People are attention seekers. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there. There was the news about, obviously, about Danny Olmo, but that seems to have gone quiet. 60 million euro release clause, bro. Would you be
I'm
interested
not.
in Danny Olmo?
He's okay. I'm not necessarily a big fan, but I mean, I've seen him. He's done well. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Would you take him?
I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I actually don't know. Like, he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. I remember watching him in the German Super Cup first game of the season against Bayern, and I tell you what, bro, he tore him apart. He got a hat trick. He tore Bayern Munich apart. But his injury record is kind of stinky. I think he averages like 2,300 minutes a season, which is bad. And I just don't know what we'd be buying him for. What position would he play? We've already got Jack Grealish on the left. We've got Doku on the left. We've got Savio who can play on the left. We've got Bob who can play on the left. And on the right, you've got Bernardo Silva, who don't look like he's going anywhere. You got Oscar Bob, who can play there. Doku can also play there. And Savio can also play there. So he ain't going to play on the wing unless one of those goes further down the pecking order. And in the midfield, well, we've already got Foden. And we've got Kevin De Bruyne. So he's going to be third choice attacking midfielder. The only
That's
thing
the
I could
same
potentially see
conversation,
is
though.
like,
Oh, go ahead.
go on. I was just gonna say, if you got rid of Alvarez, maybe could he come in and we're like, oh, you know what? We don't really want a backup striker. We're just gonna get another attacker. And if Haaland gets injured, we'll play false nine. We're not going to really do this backup striker because if we buy a backup striker, they're just not going to play striker position because Haaland's the guy and he ain't going anywhere. That's the only way I could potentially see it. But even then, I look at the minutes that he'd get and I'm just thinking, you know, if you think about it, right? If you look at Alvarez's minutes last year, he got good minutes. I think he got like 3,500 minutes. That's decent. But how many minutes would this guy have got if Kevin De Bruyne didn't get a 6-month injury? You could probably take 25%
if
off
Haaland
that.
wasn't out for an extended period.
Exactly. Haaland got an injury, was out for 2 months, and KDB missed half a season. Now, there'll always be injuries, so he'd always play, but like, if KDB didn't get that 6-month injury, you can knock at least 25% of them minutes off. He struggles to make 3,000 minutes. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, man. I think he's a good player. I just don't. If we signed him, I'd just be a bit confused.
So, but it's the same conversation with Danny Olmo that you would have with Musiala, maybe even Florian Wirtz. Is where are they playing? If they're playing in that attacking midfield position, then what does that mean for Foden? Are we really going to push Foden out wide for someone else? To me, that just seems like we're hustling backwards. He's earned his spot in that midfield, in that attacking midfield 10 position. I don't want someone to come in that's going to push him back out wide, or I guess slow down his continued development. He's on position to be one of the best players in the entire world. I don't want to do anything that's going to slow down his development. So as much as those other players are wonderful players in their own right, I don't bring them in if they're going to get in Foden's way. That's just me.
The thing is with the Musiala and Wirtz thing is it's the KDB replacement.
Sure.
I am almost
KDB's still here.
positive. Yeah, but he won't be next year.
Yeah.
I'd be amazed if Kevin De Bruyne is at this football club in 2025, 2026 season. I just do not see it one little bit. So I know we're not going to get Wirtz or Musiala, but if he was to get them this season, I think it's kind of like, right, come in, you'll play, you'll understand the system, and then next year, bang. But to be honest with you, I don't think either of them would accept that.
There's no reason they should.
No, I think if you go to Musiala and say, "Oh, join City this year, yeah," and you'll play, but you'll be behind Foden and KDB. But don't worry, next year KDB's leaving, so then you'll be the main man. It's like, so basically, I'm just kind of chilling for a year. Like I don't think Musiala or Wirtz would accept that personally. So I think that's why we've not been linked with any of them. And I think if we are going to go for one of them, it'll be next year when Kevin De Bruyne leaves the football club. Because, like I said, I just do not see Kevin De Bruyne being at City next year. He'll be 30. He'll be 34, bro. He's 32 now. He turns 33 at the end of the month. So next year he'll be 34. We're not having a 34-year-old Kevin De Bruyne at City, mate. In 25, he's gone, bro. He'll sign I think he'll sign another year contract. He'll sign a 1-year deal, in my opinion, and then City will sell him next year for like 35 mil just to get some money. But I think he will sign a new contract. Otherwise, you're letting him go on a free. And he's still, even though he's 34, in terms of like what he brings to the MLS or what he brings to Saudi or China or whatever league he decides to go, even though he's 34, it's well worth them paying that 34 million quid transfer fee because it's Kevin De Bruyne, mate. Like the stardom that he'll bring, the quality he'll bring. One of the best players. It's his image. That's what I meant to say. It's his image. Even though he's 34, his image would be crazy. So that's why we'll sign him on a new deal, in my view. And that's why he might even get a pay rise, Tariq, bro. People don't be surprised if he gets a pay rise at City. Oh. Bro, if City say, "Oh, we'll give you we'll bump you up another 50k," and he's like buzzing. And everyone's like, "Fucking hell, you give him a pay rise at 33 years old." It's not about that. It's about keeping him happy for one final season so that you can sell him. Yeah. If you bump his wage up by 50k a week, yeah, but you sell him next year for 40, 50 mil instead of leaving on a free, you do the maths, mate. It's clearly better to give him 50k a week bonus and sell him for 50 mil, 40 mil than to lose him on a free. So yeah, that's what I would see. I think it'd be pretty cool if he went to New York City as well. You keep him in the City group. He goes to the MLS. I think that'd be pretty cool. That would probably be an associated party transaction though, so we get investigated. And they'd be
absolutely
like,
would be
50 million for a 34-year-old, and we'd be like, yeah, but it's Kevin De Bruyne, mate. They'd be like, yeah, but it's 50 million. This is not market value, and they're like, yeah, but it's 50 million for Kevin De Bruyne. Exactly. No. You can't get 50 mil. Who owns New York City FC, by the way? And then we're like, oh, it's us.
Yeah, unfortunately. So let's go back. We talked a lot about, potential midfielders or, potential incoming players. Have you seen the rumors of, say, Rico and or Oscar Bob going out on loan?
Yes, and I fundamentally 100% wholeheartedly disagree with that. If we loan them, we're fools, man. In my view, Oscar Bob has a huge future at this football club. We need to keep him in-house. We need to develop him in-house. We need to keep him under Pep Guardiola. We need to keep him with the better players, and we need to play the guy. We need to play him. Listen, if City go, oh yeah, you know what? Actually, we just want to get 40 million for him. Rico, I think Rico should stay. But if we sign Bruno and we keep Nunes, then there is a potential argument that Rico should be loaned because he's not going to play. My argument to that, my counter argument would be, well, I want Nunes sold, bro, because I'd rather sell Nunes than loan Rico. But there is an argument to say, well, if Nunes doesn't get sold and we sign another midfielder, unless Pep actually thinks he can play right back, which I'm a bit like, man, I don't know, then it might be worth loaning him out, bro, because he's just not going to play otherwise.
Yeah, I think if you play him at right back, it has to be that inverted. I don't know that he's bombing up and down the wing.
Well,
So
exactly. Yeah, he's not going to
yeah,
do that. He's not going to do that. Oscar Bob cannot be loaned out, man. That'd be terrible.
but you know, that's what they're saying. I hope it doesn't happen. We really were excited about Bob on our show. We were excited about Oscar Bob and what he could bring. I'll be excited to see more of him probably this in the US tour to really see how he gets on. Um oh well, he's playing with he's at the Euro. No, they're not in the Euros. So yeah, we'll be able to get
No.
to see him.
You know what? Here's a shout for you. Don't be surprised to see him play in the midfield next year. Because if we've only got Phil Foden and Kevin De Bruyne, and we've got potentially up to 75 games that we've got to play next season, them two really are our only real two creators. Oscar Bob's best season in the academy was when he played in the middle. Facts. And I said yesterday, he's got this David Silva-like approach to when he plays in the midfield. So don't be surprised to see him get some game time. You know what? Pre-season, I'm putting an early call. I'm putting an early call on it. I reckon in pre-season, he's going to put him in the middle. Give him a chance. That's his best position. But based off what I've seen in the academy, that was his best position. And I've seen a lot of Oscar Bob in the academy, and that was his best position. Because he's got that,
Okay.
yeah, like Trust said, he's got that. He's a pocket player. He can find the space like David could. You know, he just found space on the pitch, and then he's got the weight of the pass. You know, so I think that could be a potential. I think that's how you solve it. Because Savio, really, we've got a bit of a dilemma. Because Savio and Bernardo Silva have caused us a bit of an issue. Because I think that when we originally did the deal, or when we originally thought about bringing Savio in, I don't think the club was fully like, yeah, he's going to be with City next season. But then he just carried on doing really, really well at Girona. And I think now there's a lot of City fans out there who want Savio to stay. I also feel that City probably, when they signed Bernardo Silva to a £50 million release clause, probably thought, right, we need to start planning for right wing because he's gone next year. And then we got halfway through the season, we got towards the end of the season, we got to now, and everyone's like, even though he's only got a 50 million release clause, we don't think he's being sold because no one wants him. So I think they've caused us a bit of an issue in terms of being stacked on that right hand side. And of course, Savio mainly plays on the left anyway. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if the solution to Oscar Bob is to try and give him some minutes in the middle. As to how much he does that in actual like competitive matches, Premier League, Champions League, all that kind of stuff, I don't know. How much does Pep trust him in there? I trust him because one, you're high up the pitch anyway. So if you do lose the ball, who cares? Like you're
It's
on the edge
less,
of
yeah.
the yeah. And two, he doesn't really lose the ball that much. He's very controlled. He's very good on the ball. So yeah, I'm gonna throw it out there as a potential pre-season prediction that we'll see Oscar Bob in the midfield be given a go.
I love it.
We'll see. We'll see. Let's have a look at some more of these the comments that are coming in. JS, big up to you, bro. Says, is Theo Hernandez the new Isco? I did see that. I did see that we were linked with Theo Hernandez again. It absolutely stunk of some sort of like contract negotiation tactic, bro. So yeah, there's no way we're getting him. There's no way, bro. There's no
Were
way.
you
But
were
yeah,
you a
probably.
fan of Isco coming?
Oh, Isco was such a brilliant player. I think he would have
Every
thrived under.
summer for like
Yeah,
6, 7 years.
yeah. I'm really surprised that no Premier League team went and said, you know, we'll have a go and try it because he is the way he keeps the ball, the way he moves with it. He's a brilliant player. He probably underachieved in his career. Really made the wrong moves. Good player,
Yeah.
top player, really was. Let's have a look. Big up to professional Gia Bot says if we sign Frimpong, I fear we would have a Trent Alexander-Arnold situation. He would be good going forward, but defensively vulnerable. Our defense is already shambolic. Yeah, I mean, you are right. I mean, he'd be so high up the pitch that we wouldn't have a right back. We'd have some sort of like right-sided centre-back situation going on. Probably a Kanji would probably be the best player for that, I would imagine. Unless you played Walker in there for the pace. But he's obviously very attacking. The question is, and we had this with Cancelo, you can kind of accept with those type of players a bit of defensive frailty now and again, as long as they're delivering at the other end of the pitch. You know, if they're getting you assists, they're getting you a goal, they're getting you goals, they're winning football matches, They make a mistake here or there. You can kind of be like, well, it's worth it. That's clearly what Liverpool do with Trent. Clearly, Trent's not the best defender out there. I think he's a poor defender. But clearly, in the Premier League, over 38 games, he's worth having in your defence because he'll win you more games, he'll get you more points, then he'll lose you, right? Obviously.
That's exactly
Knockout games, different story because it's a one-off game. So you got to be a little bit more, balanced. But if it starts to turn and their output at the attacking end, the goals, the assist starts to drop, and they're making mistakes, the fan opinion can change on them quickly, and that's what kind of happened to Cancelo really in the end. I know obviously he had the bust up with Pep, but even before that, he started making silly mistakes, and costing us games. Maybe
got turned on multiple occasions.
Exactly. I'm just after the treble year, and I know you can't just stick with the times. You do have to move, right? But after the treble season, I'm just kind of like addicted to having defenders that can actually just defend.
Okay.
Because having that 4-man back four of Ake, Diaz, Stones, Akanji, Walker, whatever, and just having 4 defenders across the back line where you knew they were just going to win the duels. You knew they weren't going to do anything stupid. It was just amazing. So I'm kind of like a little bit. I'm not that. I'd love to see a 3-5-2 with Alvarez and Haaland up top, but I just want my defenders to be able to defend, man. Like, I don't think that's too much to ask.
Can't argue that.
No, you really can't. Big up to Fee. Says Bruno under Pep equals full potential reached. Surely. What are you talking about, Bruno there?
Bruno G, I assume, but he would only have maybe. Well, what if he came this year? You have this year plus maybe one more if he gets the extension. Maybe he gets to unlock all that potential. Hopefully.
Yeah. I actually I'm coming round to Bruno a little bit more now. I'm coming round to it a little bit more. I think that I just think him and Rodri could destroy football.
It would be insane. Yeah, for sure.
I just think it could be great, them two. I think they're going to have a great partnership, but are we going to activate the release clause? I mean, apparently it's only active until the 28th of June. It's not even the end of June. It's the 28th of June, apparently.
Oh, it doesn't even go to the end?
Which is the final. Yeah, it's the final Friday of the month. Then it's the weekend. So I imagine that's why it's like, the final Friday of the month. It probably is worded something like that. So we got 2 weeks tomorrow. If we want to activate the release clause, we've got 2 weeks tomorrow. Now, obviously, you can still sign him in July and August when the transfer window's open. But if Newcastle sort out their FFP and they don't want to sell, then you can't get him out. So you've got 2 weeks effectively.
And if they have to have it all sorted out in 2 weeks too, right? They would have to have their financial situation sorted.
Yeah. If their end of their year thing is the end of the month, yeah, it would be the 28th, provided that again that's how it works. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Big up to Harris says, would you take Michel post Pep, the Girona manager? I don't know, man.
So this is one of the things that I had on, topics to talk about or whatever, is what really would you be looking for? What are the qualities you want from that next manager? We can throw out a bunch of names and, names are here, there, whatever. Someone else threw out the name, Julian Nagelsmann. There's all types of names. We talked about Xabi Alonso, but what qualities are you looking for? What's the most important thing to you in whoever succeeds, Pep?
Good question. For me, the number one thing that needs to happen is we have to get a manager where the players will respect the manager. Because because you got to understand, these players know they're playing for the greatest manager of all time. So the next manager that steps in, when the manager says like, right, these are my tactics today, we need the players to be like, yeah, we get it. We get it because we respect you. We respect you because you've done this in the game. We respect you because this has happened. We respect you for this, that, whatever. We've got to get a manager that the players respect. If we get some bozo manager, like, let me just say, for example, De Zerbi. I don't know if the players would respect De Zerbi. Because what has he done in the game? And now you say the players are humble, bro, but ultimately when things are going a bit awry, yeah, and the manager's like, these are my tactics, You got to have buy-in from the players. It's not even about being humble. It's about, do they buy into the project? Do they buy into the manager? And this is why I think that someone like, actually, I'm not saying this is the manager, but they'd respect Kompany. If Vincent Kompany come into City, they'd respect him because of what he's done. You know what I mean? And then they know the City fans wouldn't allow the players to not execute what Vincent Kompany said. I'm not saying he is the guy.
Sure.
If De Zerbi came in, why would they buy into what De Zerbi is saying if they don't fully get it? You've got no fan connection there. Michel, I think there's a potential that they would actually buy into Michel a little bit more than a De Zerbi, just simply because he's at Girona. And I think that the players could look at that and go, well, City know all about him. You know, it's Girona's a sister
CFG.
club. Tiki's been working with him every day, that kind of stuff. I think they'd be more likely to buy into Michel at Girona than De Zerbi. Is my view. I don't listen, I could be completely wrong, of course, but that's just my view based off of just weird logic. Like, what would your sort of criteria be?
Yeah, I mean, I put, is style of play more important? I don't think so. I mean, maybe it's probably right up there at the top, but I put experience on my list. But how do you define that? Is it, did you win, or to your point, you can to a certain extent command that respect, but what drives a player to respect a manager? Is it because they've won titles in certain places? Is it because I've seen, the style of play that I appreciate? So I'm not really sure how to define it, but I want someone that's proven, right? So Michel had a great season, and I think I'm sure he's probably, I haven't looked at like his track record, but I'm sure it's probably progressively gotten better. But I would want to see someone who's done it at that top level, which is why, the talk about the Ipswich Town manager for United and all these other places. Again, I need to see you perform at the top level, which is why I think it's great for Vincent Kompany. If he ever wants to come coach or manage at Man City, I think he has to go out and prove that he can do it at the highest level, at the biggest clubs, with the biggest name players, the personalities, all of that. And Bayern gives him that opportunity to do that. If he succeeds at Bayern, we would believe that he could succeed here. Now, anything could happen, but we would assume that he would be able to succeed here as well. If he goes and God forbid, he flops, and Vinny's my favorite player of all time, so I hope that doesn't happen, then we know he's never going to get his opportunity here. So it's up to him to decide and to show what he can do at that highest level. So for me, I think style of play and experience are kind of right there at the top together.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I'm looking at Michel's record, right? This is his league record. And obviously you were speaking about getting progressively better. So obviously he's not been in the game as a manager a long time. He's obviously pretty young, but
okay.
Obviously his first season, Rayo Vallecano finished 12th. Obviously only took part halfway through the season. Then got them promoted to La Liga. Instantly did bad though. Look at that. I think he got sacked actually halfway through the season again there. It's not looking too great. We got sacked being in 19th. Then he went to Huesca, won the La Liga 2 again. So clearly he's got that second league boxed off. So that to me is a bit of a positive, because whatever he's saying, he's just getting these teams out of La Liga 2. But again, got them back into La Liga, just like he did with Rayo Vallecano. Same story. Got sacked, was in 20th position. Bit like Vincent Kompany, actually, isn't it? He goes to Burnley, does really, really well in the Championship, smashes it, gets him to the Premier League, gets relegated. Then he takes over the job at Girona, gets them promoted via the playoffs. First year, this time, cracks the code. Finishes 10th in his first season with Girona in La Liga. So he's learned from whatever happened at Rayo Vallecano, whatever happened at Huesca, he's learned. Now, that might be a simple case of he just has better players.
I was going to say.
Could be that. Or you could be generous to him and say whatever it is, he's learned from that. And then, of course, he finished third and in the Champions League. Here's for me, you speaking about experience, Tarek, yeah? I'm going to be watching Girona in the Champions League so closely this year.
Yep.
So closely. And I'm not expecting Girona to go and do a madness, right? I'm not an idiot. They're probably not even going to make it into the knockout rounds. They're probably going to be knocked out.
That shouldn't be the expectation. That's not
Exactly.
realistic for them.
It's how they play the game when they're on the pitch. It's how the players perform. What tactics is he doing? Are they getting battered off teams that are around their level? You know, if they play Bayern Munich and they get beat 3-0, I'm not going to sat there and say, no, we can't get Michel, right? Whatever. But if they're playing like Shakhtar Donetsk, right, a good team, but not a team that based off of last year should be battering Girona, and then they batter Girona, then that could be a bit of a I'm looking to see, right, you're in this competition now. You're going to be playing against teams that are around your level. And because there's 8 games now, and remember, you don't play the same team twice, you play 7 different teams, or 8 different teams, or whatever, or 8 games, or whatever it is. What's the situation? How are you performing? So Champions League, I'm going to be watching him. Vincent Kompany, if he has a release clause, maybe if he does well at Bayern, City could go for him. I just feel that this is why I just think the 1 year makes sense, bro, for Pep. Because if he signs a 1-year contract extension at City, I bet my house on it, Vincent Kompany becomes the next Manchester City manager after Pep. Pep leaves
Don't
after
bet
10
your
years.
House, man. Don't bet your house. That's
I
too much.
don't have a house, so
Okay.
theoretical house. Yeah, that's what I'm
You'd
saying.
be
If
over
Pep
here sleeping
signs,
on my couch.
yeah. Well, it's comfy couch, bro. I think seriously, man. I think if Pep signs a 1-year deal, Vincent Kompany in 2 years, it's happening.
Okay. I would love it, but my fear, because again, I love Vinny, is there's always an end unless you're Pep and you can just decide I'm gonna walk away at this point, and I just hope to God it doesn't end negatively for Vinny if he does ever end up managing City.
It wouldn't for me, bro. It wouldn't be. It wouldn't for me, man, because like I can separate his playing career from his managerial career.
Yeah.
So if he came to City and it didn't do well, nothing to me changes. Nothing, because I separate it. I say yeah. As a manager, it didn't work out. I'm gonna combine the two together. And then the best people to actually ask will be Man United fans and ask them how they feel about Ole. And say, what do you think about Ole?
Yeah, true.
See what they say, because that's effectively the situation. Tinsay says, did Nagelsmann die or something? Well, not as far as I'm aware. However, is there a bit of disrespect, bro, on Nagelsmann? Do we disrespect this guy? Because no one ever speaks about him. Tinsay's right to bring him up.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he was on a very fast track to the top, and I think he went to Bayern. Didn't he go to Bayern for a minute?
Yeah, he did 2 years at Bayern. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just like after that he kind of fell off the radar for some reason.
Well, actually, he got sacked, didn't he? He got sacked halfway through his second season because he fell out with everyone and people were leaking all the team lineups and stuff. So he got sacked halfway through the season.
Yeah. So again, you never know. I think what we saw from him in his teams was really good, but if you can't manage the dressing room, and again, the team room, the higher you go up, the bigger the players, the bigger the egos, all of that is going to, you have to be able to continue to improve and manage that next level. And maybe he just can't handle the biggest players, because that's where he struggled. And again, maybe Bayern's dressing room is just messed up, because they've always had issues for the last couple managers. I think there's something to be said there.
I agree. I think that's more Bayern issue. I think Bayern's a weird club at the moment. I think Vinny. I think Vinny's got this mad easy job. I don't think it's that easy. I think there are serious issues in the dressing room. Half the players are out of contract in the next 18 months. They've had players leaking. You've got Manuel Neuer. Like, what's going on with him? He's getting a bit on now. You're gonna have to replace him. So there's a lot of stuff going on there at Bayern Munich. So yeah, listen, we'll see what's going on there, man. But listen, the managerial debate is interesting, and there are so many different points. I mean, I throw out Ancelotti. If Alonso goes Real Madrid next year and Ancelotti is available, I'm taking Ancelotti. And I know a lot of City fans, I don't know your views, a lot of City fans don't want him. A lot of City fans are like, nah, I don't want him. But if Ancelotti is available, I'm taking Ancelotti, man. Even if it's for 2-3 years, I'm taking him. The guy's a UCL GOAT, man.
Yeah, you can't argue with that. Um, it's
Well,
hard. It's hard
everyone
to
in the
argue
chat
with
will.
it.
Well,
Well, I mean,
the chat do.
I don't know that I would want him, to be honest with you. I don't know that I would want him, but I understand why you would say what you said, because again, that is again getting back to that Champions League and winning it again, is, for a lot of people that's the I won't say the holy grail, because again we want to win that fifth one, fifth PL straight, but that's going to be, for a lot of people, that's going to be the highest priority. And so he, just by his for whatever reason, he's proven he can win it. But he's only ever done it with, as far as wait, no, did he win it with Chelsea? Let's see, has he only ever won the UCL with Real Madrid?
No, I won it with AC Milan as well.
Oh, okay. See, there you go.
He won it time ago with AC Milan, like a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say no because he does have that experience, but what changes from a style of play perspective? I mean, they're still attacking, but it's very, we just watched Real Madrid, and again, maybe it's just because we're just that good, but we watched them settle for counterattacking football against us, and they just tried to hold on and then hit us on the counter. Would we want City to play that way? Maybe if it wins us the Premier, I mean, if it wins us the UCL, maybe we don't care.
The question is, do you want City to win? And if Ancelotti felt that was the best way of, listen, you're not going to play that every game, innit? But if we came up against a team, and by the way, you played that out because we're the better team.
That's what I was going to say. Maybe it's just because we're just so good.
Exactly. If say he was managing City, right, and we was playing against Real Madrid, and say they had a manager, say like Alonso, would he have still played defensive and played on the counter attacking? I'm not sure he would have. I think the guy's smart, man. He's been around the game a long time. I think he knew if we try and take City on, we're losing the game, and I think that's why he did what he did. But we'll listen. Sure. We're not going to get Ancelotti. We're not going to get him. Just put it out there. But listen, it's going to be interesting. I think the next managerial job's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be crazy. Big up to Feet says we do need someone who commands respect after Pep. Yeah, a Bruno and Rodri midfield would be unbeatable. I just have a great feeling about signing him. I'm telling you, man. I think the relationship that Bruno and Rodri could have in that midfield could honestly be insane. I think it could be insane. Imagine if we lose the ball. Imagine how quick those two players will be on to close down. Teams will really struggle to transition against us. What's Bruno's G&A like? I know I'm going to do like the G&A thing, but does he get goals and assists? Does he chip in? 10-10 would be nice. Okay, so you got 7 and 10. 7 goals, 10 assists for Newcastle, all competitions. In the Premier League, you got 7 goals, 8 assists. That's the sort of numbers that I'm looking for. What did he do the year before? Year before that, he got 4 and 5 in 32, so slightly less games, slightly lower output. Not horrendous. I think if he was playing like 36 games, I'd be looking for around 7 goals, 8 goals, same assists, and that's what he got last year. I just think that helps. I just think those extra numbers will chip in and help us succeed. Honestly, I think it could be crazy. I really do. Right.
So,
okay.
15 goals or assists in the Premier League. I'll take that.
Yeah, combined, I think that would be very good. Because remember, he's not even our main creator. Foden would be our main creator.
The thing. Yeah.
But Kevin De Bruyne would be our main creator, and then Bruno would be a backup DM to Rodri, and he'd also play when we're not playing Foden and De Bruyne, which would be a lot. People think that if we sign Bruno would just be on the bench. He wouldn't be on the bench. He'd be on the bench sometimes. So is Kevin De Bruyne. So is Foden. The only guy that's not on the bench at the moment is freaking Rodri. You know what I mean? So I think it would be. Yeah, I did see this actually. I don't know if you've seen this, bro. Weird. Some strange reason, Fabrizio Romano earlier on, just before we went live, retweeted his original tweet about Eddie leaving. So has he heard some further news? Has he been? Have we got some further news here about Edison potentially leaving? Hopefully not.
I have not seen that. That's kind of disappointing. I'm glad that we seem to be wrapping up an extension for Ortega. But I think as much as a lot of people are high on Ortega, and rightfully so, because he delivered for us this season, I still think over the course of a full season, that's a pretty big drop off losing losing Ederson if that's actually what happens. So I hope that's not true. I hope that's not true.
Yeah, a big disaster. A big disaster, in my opinion. Right, okay. Yeah, I think we're pretty much done now. There was some news earlier on from David Ornstein, but who's normally a good source. But this has to be fake news. Look at this, bro. Man City retain a strong interest in Michael Elise alongside Man United and Newcastle United. Chelsea have now asked for permission to speak to the winger's representatives with the hope of agreeing personal terms. This is just not happening. How many wingers are we going to have?
Yeah, I saw that too.
This is never happening, bro. We ain't signing Elise. No chance. Are we going to have Bernardo Silva, Elise, Savio, Oscar Bob, Doku? No way, man.
Does that mean then if we go get Elise that Savio is staying in Girona?
If we got Elise, then yeah, Savio would have to be loaned, unless you sold Jack Grealish or you got rid of Doku, which I don't see any of those two.
Neither of those are probably going to happen. Yeah.
So Savio would then be loaned out. And listen, maybe Savio will be loaned out because when he was asked about it last week, he didn't seem to know what was going on himself, to be honest with you. He just kind of gave a bit of a fluffy answer. No one knew. I don't think he knows what's happening. I don't think City made their mind up. If I'm being honest with you, I think it's literally just as simple as City going to take him on pre-season and Pep's going to say what we want to do. Pep will decide whether or not he wants to keep him or loan him. So how can you then sign Elise when you've not made that decision about Savio?
Yeah.
No chance. No chance.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think it happens.
No. Right, cool. What a show. 1 hour, 25 minutes, guys. Covered a lot today. Pep Guardiola. If you just joined us, we spoke about Pep Guardiola earlier on, and we kind of spoke about him a lot today. We spoke about Matheus Nunes. Big debate going on there with you guys in the chat as well about whether or not we should keep him, whether or not we should let him go. Rico Lewis, Oscar Bob, what should we do with those? Should we loan them out? Should we keep them? Again, good debate there. Yeah, Fabrizio's pinned the Savio tweet as well, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy the show. I am back tomorrow, 1 p.m. with Tone and Martin for the Tone show on Friday lunchtime. Always a cracking show, so make sure you join us for that one. It's going to be a mad one. But yeah, big up to Tariq. Let him know again, bro, where you're at. I'm going on Tariq's podcast, by the way, guys. So yeah. I'll let you know when that's happening, and I get a tweet out. But yeah, let him know where you're at, bro.
Yeah, we're Shades of Blue at Shades of Blue NW on Twitter. Also Shades of Blue here on YouTube. Definitely follow us. We're right now we're in our content our creator season. So obviously with the games being, except for when the Euros start tomorrow, except everything kicks off. But we're just connecting with other content creators. So you'll have Newcastle fans, you'll have all kinds of people on there that we're connecting with. So please feel free to come give us a listen, and we'd love to have you. But I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate you letting me give that kind of a
anytime, bro.
Drop, man.
Anytime, bro. Anytime. Listen, guys, I did hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, do us a favor, hit that thumbs up button, man. Don't cost you a penny. It massively helps the channel. Make sure you subscribed as well. And come back tomorrow, 1 p.m. Myself, Tone, and Martin. It's going to be a cracker. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, people.